All right, let's talk about Etsy niche versus Etsy trends. What should you follow? What should you do in your shop to grow the fastest? Which is right? Which is more sustainable? So I got this really good question that prompted this video from one of my members in my Etsy Games VIP private community that I'm going to go over. And there's a link below. You can check out this community. Very affordable. We do SEO. I do one-on-one coaching calls with all new members. It's a positive, fun, safe, motivational place to come hang out and grow your business at an affordable price. My goal is to blow you away with value, give you as much value as $1,000 programs for $10 a month. So check that out. There's a link below. But here is the question. I'm currently working on my t-shirt shop, and I'm torn between focusing on niche designs or chasing trends. When I follow trends, I feel stressed and under pressure to be fast and creative all the time. Plus, trends fade quickly. With niches, I worry they're already saturated, and I'm still learning how to find good long tail keywords. So considering mixing both, working on evergreen niche content while also experimenting with trends while I have the time, but I'm not sure what strategy would be the most sustainable long term. So this is a really good question. This is something that I talk about a lot that I want to dive in today for you all. Here's the way that I like to think about this. So when you have a niche, it is like your road. So you're serving your target audience with your niche. You have your ideal customer, and the products that you release are products that kind of fit on the road. So when your ideal customer is driving down this road, they're seeing stuff that they like and they would want to buy. And it's nice following a niche because you have a path, right? This is my ideal customer. Every product that I release should be a product that they would want to buy. And the key to doing that as well is you're releasing products in product lines serving your niche, so you can start to see, which products do well, which don't do well, and then you focus more on the stuff that does well. So product lines are important, but this is a more sustainable path, I think, to follow because you are always having your ideal customer in mind. You're always having your target market in mind. When you're focused on trends, you're kind of like all over the place. Like this is a different subject matter and different audience. This is different subject matter, different audience. This is different subject matter, different audience. And when you're following trends, it is very stressful. It's hard to sustain because you're trying to find the next biggest thing. You're trying to find the next thing that's going to do well. So you have to act fast, be fast to market to capitalize on it because trends do fade really, really fast. My biggest problem with the trends, and it's not that I say focus on niche rather than trends because trends don't work. They still work, and the algorithm is still smart enough to send traffic to one-off trend products. The problem is when people are doing trends, they're doing it kind of for the wrong reason, which makes it not sustainable. So, this is a subject matter, so maybe this is something related to dogs. You don't have dogs, you never like dogs, you're not interested in dogs. Maybe this trend item is related to babies. You don't have babies, you're not interested in babies. So this one's maybe drinking or wine. You don't drink wine, you never drank wine, but you're chasing basically the money and trying to make this work, and you're not passionate about it. You really could care less about the subject matter. And it's really hard to showcase something that you don't care about. And it's really hard to keep going, putting up products that you don't care about, right? You're just doing it for the money. And what happens when those products and those listings aren't successful? What happens if you do 50 trend products that don't do well? You're going to want to throw in the towel really, really quick because you could care less about the subject matter. You could care less about the target market that you're trying to serve. So it makes it not really sustainable because you're kind of doing it for the wrong reasons. You're kind of just trying to make a quick buck. And it usually showcases, you can usually see the shops that are doing it because they look kind of half-assed. They're not, their SEO isn't the best, their pictures aren't the best. They're just trying to get the listings up, and the listing quality is pretty poor. The pictures aren't as great, and the shop just doesn't look good either because there's no flow. Everything's kind of all over the place. It kind of looks like a yard sale. It just doesn't have a flow. It doesn't really look really good. So that's there's a major component. So usually it comes down to the reasons behind why you're trying to do it and the sustainability of it. Not that it can't work. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of trend shops that do really well, but that is that's a special strategy. That's a special type of person that can make that work and continue doing that, trying to find the next biggest thing. The other thing is you can work in, if you have, this is your roadmap for your niche, you can do trend products within your target market, within your 10 target niche. So one thing is, you can do seasonal stuff. Those are trends, seasonal type stuff. You can do Christmas stuff. You can do Halloween stuff that will fit into your trends. If you're focused on dogs, you can do funny dog shirts related to Christmas and Santa or Halloween or whatever the case may be. But you can also do major pop culture trends too. Maybe you do, if you're dogs, maybe it's like, my 6'7" is like the huge thing. It's like the term that means nothing that all the kids are using. Maybe you do a dog 6'7" shirt or something like that. And that's like a pop culture trend. The other thing to be careful with is trends. A lot of that, if it is pop culture, a lot of it's probably trademarked. So the big pop culture booming trends you can't do anyways because they're trademarked and you're gonna get yourself into trouble. So it's best to, I think, do a niche, do trends within that niche that makes sense, where you can kind of expand out a little and capitalize on the traffic, but it's still, and it's going to appeal more to your ideal customer anyways, because if they could have something that they like, the subject matter that they like, and also it can relate to something current that is kind of trendy, that could be a twofold double whammy. So I'm gonna get that on a shirt, twofold double whammy. So that's kind of how I look at this. It's a really good question. It's something that people struggle with a lot. I think a lot of people see, and then they're taught a lot like, hey, just go and do the trend stuff, make the money quick. And you may be able to pop off a couple things that do really well, but at the end of the day, you're gonna get really tired of it really, really fast, I think, because again, you don't care and you got to be passionate about what you're doing. And the goal is to build out a real business that is sustainable, not just something that's fly by night, not just something that you're going to make a couple bucks and then close up shop. So my goal is always, for the people that watch this stuff and want to get help, is to help you build something that is sustainable and can set you up for long-term success. So hopefully this helps you out. And I'll be back soon with some more good stuff for you guys. And again, if you want to join the Etsy Games VIP program to get more help like this, there is a link below. See you guys on the other side. Have an amazing rest of your day.